Broner and Cam'ron during an interesting exchange on a recent episode of It Is What It Is, in which Adrien Broner was a guest. Cam'ron and Mase, the boys, they had him on the show to talk about whatever they had him to talk about. But Adrien Broner, who looked to be under the influence of something, couldn't stop flirting with the woman co-host on the show. And Cam'ron kept trying to urge Broner away from it, and Broner kept pushing the issue. And so Cam'ron is like, listen, man, we're going to cut this short and I'm going to let you go. I'll pay you for your time, but you keep violating. And, I told you once to not do it and you kept doing it. So I thought that this was an interesting exchange and I figured we would talk about it real quick. So this says Cam'ron kicks Adrien Broner off It Is What It Is for making inappropriate comments towards Stat Baby. Cam'ron abruptly ended his interview with Adrien Broner on It Is What It Is after the boxer made several inappropriate comments towards treasure Stat Baby Wilson. Clips of the moment have been circulating on social media on Tuesday. Broner begins by remarking that Wilson looks good in person. I love you. I'm sorry. My bad, y'all, he later says. As he continues making remarks, Cam signals for him to knock it off and tries to move the conversation on to football. So I'm going to, of course, skip through that. The incident with Adrien Broner isn't the only drama Cam'ron has been caught up in as of late. He also recently made headlines for trading shots with Dame Dash on social media. The Rockefeller Records co-founder joked about Cam working with 50 Cent on a revival of the iconic film Paid in Full. All right, so here is that exchange between Cam and Adrien Broner when Adrien Broner just wouldn't let it go on It Is What It Is.
Good in person.
Thank you.
For
I
real.
appreciate that.
Hey,
what you wasted that? I love you. The guy. I'm sorry. My bad, y'all. My bad.
Arabia, is that a real background?
Hey, Stat, could you stop
Yes.
Can you stop smiling? You
Arabia is.
nah, yo, bro, some G, yo, bro, some G shit. We gotta. have both on here, yo.
right. Oh shit.
I told you that.
My bad.
Nah, like it's all like. Okay, we can move on to football then.
Stat. Oh my god.
Yo, Stat, let's do the football. I guess that answered the question about Floyd. When I see you taking off some time,
I'm mesmerized by Stat.
This nigga here, bro.
I did not know you looked that good in person. My bad, bro. You're amazing.
All right, hey, we gonna have to actually go, my nigga. I mean, I'm gonna thank you for your time. Yeah,
man.
I appreciate you. But
I
love you, my nigga.
I'm not doing it again.
Yeah, no. I can't. I asked you the first time. I don't have no problems with you. But I'm gonna pay you for your time. But you can't violate, bro. I told you that.
I'm not, though. I'm not.
Nah, I told you niggas boyfriends in here. You know when my brother
shit,
know that.
my bad, bro. My bad.
Nah. But I appreciate your time.
It's me.
Well, if you want to wait for us outside, you could. But I'm not gonna sit in and not value your time neither. You want to wait for me? You could, but I appreciate it, bro. You gotta step out. Thank you, man. Well, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, man. So that's how that went, and that's been going a little crazy on the internet today. What did you think about that exchange and the way Cam'ron handled that with Broner?
I felt that I felt Cam stood on business on that. I feel like he handled his duties there. I think I looked this up. I don't know if I think I looked it up. They're not related. I thought Stat and Cam was related, but
I don't think so.
Yeah, but all in all, I feel as though he did the right thing as far as like respecting people around him that he respects by kicking them off. And he said, "Hey, look, man, we already talked about this." And for him to proceed to do so in such a belligerent fashion,
for real,
he wasn't going to stop. And at this point, you have a choice to make as a guy, as a man. In a context like that, especially when there's a woman involved, all right, where somebody is doing something like that and you warned them, and then they go, "Hey man, my bad," and you know what, and it's like, okay, I gave you that, my bad, bro, but we got a show to do. And for him to double down, triple down, and go for it again, he wasn't going to stop. He was going to make another slick comment later, and then now it looks like Cam's the pushover. And Cam can't have that for his brand. I'm not saying he did it for the cameras, because the look of dismay in Cam's face didn't say that I'm doing this for the cameras. It was like, you're openly disrespecting everything that we got going on right now. So it looked like a genuine reaction. His purse genuinely got racks in it, apparently. he apparently keeps the racks on deck in his purse, which is also gangster now, I assume. Okay, so all right. But hey, man, this is the world we live in. But all in all, when you're dealing with a junkie, like Broner is, because his slurred speech, that's not just alcohol, ladies and gentlemen. That's a controlled substance. That's not the Mary Jane. That is a hard drug.
Schedule one.
Yeah, whatever those things is, man. He's on one of them, bro.
That's what you call a Schedule 1 drug, right there.
Yeah, man. He's completely out of there. Just lucid speaking. There's no checks and balances. He's just letting whatever comes to his mind, any invasive thoughts coming out of his mouth. So at this point, there's no controlling somebody that's on that. So best thing to do is just kick him off the set. So I don't know where they dug AB up from. I know him more for his antics than boxing.
Absolutely.
And over the years, he has gone viral for all the wrong reasons. And so you can just add this to the long laundry list of the things that he does that rubs everybody the wrong way. One thing about Cam and Mase, and I'll let you go. One thing about Cam and Mase is they will hire somebody like an AB and put him on the show, so he can get a shine and get a check.
Yeah, they put people on.
Yeah, man. They did it with OJ before he passed. They did it with Maurice Claret. They do it with guys that have been blackballed, casted out.
Yeah, they did it with they helped out Michael Irvin after ESPN fired him.
Michael Irvin. They helped out Mark Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
So they have this tendency of looking out for dudes and try to help rebrand them. And then AB gets on there completely high out of his gourd and embarrasses himself. He looked like the absolute fool there. I don't know if there's going to be anyone, even a AB fan, if they're out there, that would actually come to his defense in this. That would actually say that, come on, man, Cam violating. No, bro, you violated, bro. And quite frankly, I don't know if there's anybody out there that would feel sorry for you in any of this stuff that you've been doing lately on the internet. So yeah, man, shout out to Cam for handling that the right way. I would have laughed it off too. But at some point, man, when Stat's sitting there doing that nervous laugh and stuff like that, she's getting really uncomfortable in there. Boyfriend somewhere off in the cut, and you're gonna have to greet these people, dap them up later. There ain't no way I'm gonna sit here and let that fly in front of millions of people. So in front of millions of people, I'd rather embarrass you and send you off the set. So well played there by Cam'ron. Well, what are your thoughts, bro, on Cam standing on business apparently and kicking AB off the set for hollering at Stat a little too hard? What are your thoughts, bro?
I like what Cam did, honestly. I champion that 100%. A while back we actually talked about Broner on the channel because he this guy, bro, he needs help. And he went live. I don't remember what platform he was on, but he went live talking about how expensive the price of box has gotten.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, he went live to express his how he to express his despair, how despondent he's become over how expensive how the price of vagina is. So clearly this is a guy who lives the Shannon Sharp life. His interactions with women are transactional. They are of a transactional nature. It isn't a matter of what woman can I meet and go home with. It's a matter of how much do you cost for me to take you home with me. And when you have that kind of a worldview when it comes to your relation to women, you will convince yourself that any woman is available, including women who have a man already.
Yep.
And what I like about what Cam did was, he stood on business in terms of upholding traditional man code, or at least that's how I took it. Now, nowadays it's very old fashioned, apparently, for men to honor and respect the fact that a woman has a man, right? Nowadays it's old fashioned to look at the world that way. Nowadays men are supposed to believe that even if a woman has a man, she's still available and up for grabs, and you'll just pull a Drake and take her from her guy because whatever, right? And are there, of course, I don't want to be remiss by not bringing up the fact that oftentimes women do have men and still are available nevertheless. But there's a difference between the way that a woman who is available but also not available at the same time carries herself, and the way that a woman who truly is unavailable carries herself. There's a difference between the two. And these days, New Age man code stipulates that there is no difference, that it's all the same. And so it doesn't matter whether a woman is giving off the energy that she truly is unavailable or not. You just go ahead and go for the gusto because it doesn't matter. I'm not a fan of that particular brand of man code. I still subscribe to the traditional type of man code, which is unless a woman is giving you clear and obvious evidence that she's available, even if she has a man, it's off limits because she isn't giving you the vibes that she is available. But that's an old-fashioned notion, apparently. And what I like about what Cam did is he adhered to the old-fashioned code that I subscribe to. So from that standpoint, I do appreciate it because some semblance of that, in my opinion, does need to be retained, even though we are clearly moving further and further away from it.
Yeah, man.
And that's not to bring up the point about professionalism on the show, because even though they do, they speak the way that they speak on the show, and you know what I'm saying, and all that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, if you follow what they do there is a certain standard of decorum that they try to maintain as often as possible.
Correct.
And in that moment, Cam was like, bro, you're violating, and I told you to stop. And he continued to press the issue. So even beyond all of that stuff that I talked about, just adhering to professional standards for what they're trying to do over there, and Cam trying to be consistent with that, is also something that I can respect.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And to touch on again on Broner's pervasive way of shooting his shot there, the show was starting to take a turn as well. I guess this is what you also mean as far as the adhering to a code. I'm trying to listen to these guys banter a little bit and talk sports or whatever that comes up, but you trying to isolate this into a let me shoot my shot, it's lame as hell. This Adrien Broner, every time he goes viral for these weird things, they're always weird and they're always lame. This is a lame individual, and CTE is kicking his ass. So so I'm sure he was lame before the CTE.
Wait, your sound cut out. Your sound cut.
But it just makes it all the more. See, good now.
Yeah.
Unmuted. We good now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Man, they're trying to silence your boy. But yeah, man. So like we can use the other AB, Antonio Brown, as an example here. I think Antonio Brown was always a funny guy. But of course he has his quirks and he has CTE. But with his CTE, he becomes funnier. You know, he's willing to take his jokes to the max. And then at least for me, I get a good chuckle out of how ridiculous he is. But there's clearly a sense of humor there. With Adrien Broner, his situation is his lameness it takes on a new life. His CTE lowers his inhibitions to the point where his lameness shines even harder. And then you couple that with drugs. It's a recipe for disaster. I'm sure they spoke behind the scenes. Like he said, hey man, I done told you about this already. I'm pretty sure they saw how unhinged he was. I guess hoping he'll clean it up on air. But nah, man, this is who this guy has been.
They probably just really wanted to give him a chance to.
I think
and
so.
You see Cam paid him anyway for his time. So I think for those guys, it was probably a situation where there's clearly a risk associated with him being there, but they just wanted to try to throw the guy a bone.
Yeah, man. And hey, that goes to show you, you know. And I've been in situations where I tried to look out for people that clearly needed bigger help than mine. And, you know, it would show itself in certain contexts to the point where I had to just throw my hands up and go, this is out of my hands. I can't be the person that help you, you know. And so, you know, cut my ties and, you know, let the person go on. And you can't feel bad about that because you did put your best foot forward to try to help that person. But I've personally removed myself from the business of doing that. I allow other people to do that now. If I do see somebody that's struggling, I realize what my limitations is, and I don't have the patience for it no more. So I'm pretty sure Cam and them, I'm sure they didn't learn their lesson. I don't think this is going to stop their business model of trying to help dudes out. I think that this is going to help them in the future going, hey, look, we want to prevent situations like this going forward. And if the person is just too unhinged, they can kick rocks. So Michael Irvin is unhinged, but as you mentioned, bro, he's a professional though. And his unhingedness is a controlled unhinged. So he, which makes good TV. AB is just a loose cannon, and I would never have a live mic on in front of this man. Yeah. So right on to Cam. Shout out to Mase for just being quiet in the cut.
Well, Mase tried to divert it. Mase tried to divert it to the other girl they had on there, but it didn't work. Broner couldn't take the hint. I mean, you know, I hope Broner gets the help that he needs, right? But you know, again, man, for me, I know honoring man code in the traditional sense is old fashioned, but you know, certain old fashioned things, in my opinion, do need to remain. That being one of them. You know, it's a microcosm of the way men in general need to accord themselves towards women, I believe. You know, there's a different there. It's one thing for a woman to have a boyfriend or a man, but she's still, despite that, sending out all of the signals of availability, and then you try to act accordingly. It's another thing entirely for you to feel like a chick is up for grabs, despite the fact that she has given you no indication whatsoever that she is available. She isn't sending out any of those vibes. But I don't know, like some of us out here, we have listened to one too many Drake and Lil Baby songs, and we really do walk out here in the rest of the world thinking that everybody is just, you know, there at our disposal. It's kind of crazy. But I honor traditional man code. That was what I read from this situation. So from that standpoint, I like the fact that Cam'ron felt as though it was a violation worthy of getting him kicked off. And, you know, I would like to see more examples of it, but, you know, this is this kind of mentality is really the last of a dying breed, quite frankly.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is that, and Cam did it with class. He could have really showed him up there. He could have really, really embarrassed him. But no, man, he was like, look, bro, it was more of a, I tried to help you out. Here's the money, man. But you gotta go. So, I feel as though they handled that in the best way that they could have. It all around solid appearance from Cam on that one.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Shouts out to Cam, man. Shouts out to Mase, and shouts out to their show. It's pretty cool to see that they've been able to grow that the way that they have. That's kind of nice. Like, I wouldn't have thought that those two guys in particular would have, gotten to the point of being sports podcasters the way that they have. It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, May's still a little clueless about things, but they're still entertaining. So
the dynamic works. Yeah.